Dear audience, welcome to the show Power Chat. In today's episode, we are discussing on public policy needs in Nepal with particular focus on public interest and policy dialogues. Joining us today is Dr. Vishnuraj Upreti, who is the conflict analyst and researcher, who currently chairs the Policy Research Institute. He is the executive chairperson of the state-created Policy Research Institute. Please allow me to welcome him. Welcome to the show, Dr. Upreti.
Thank you.
Well, you have been into the field of research, especially that of the conflict and peace. You led many international research projects on peace and conflict, and currently leading the state-created Policy Research Institute. How do you analyze the current state of public policy needs in Nepal, Dr. Upreti?
Um, First, thank you for providing this opportunity to share the perspective of the PRI, the government think tank, regarding your specific questions about this public policy need. There is a great need in this country because the often policy making is almost one-sided, dominated by the bureaucratic knowledge, and until and unless the public are engaged meaningfully to participate in the identification of the policy need and also analyzing and prioritizing the policy need and then implementing, the effectiveness is not ensured. Therefore, there is a real need of the public policy where the people's engagement. Um, there are some efforts, particularly in some policy, they are very well prepared, engaging wider stakeholder and their interest. But many of the policies are often made very quickly and also not giving proper attention to the public, and therefore these policies are not effective. So there is a very direct relationship between the meaningful engagement of the public in the policy debate before preparing the policy and its effectiveness. So reason being that the government of Nepal, particularly the interest of the Prime Minister, this institution was created to minimize that gap. The role of the PRI is mainly to complement, to advise the government based on the evidences of effectiveness of the public policies. So in that sense, there is a big gap, but some efforts have been made.
Well, thank you, Dr. Upreti. You said that the public policy needs are not appropriately recognized till date. How are you going to make change? I mean, the Policy Research Institute is going to make change in relation to public policy needs of Nepal.
You see, there are few sources of the public policy. Often the societal need is the fundamental source of public policy, and also sometimes the public policy needs are directed by the constitutional provision. For example, in our country, there are so many constitutional provision to address, to bring the new policy or to adapt and review the policy. The other sources of the public policies are also the operational, day-to-day operational difficulties to the state, to the government. If they have facing some difficulties, they have to adapt. So all these type of the different various sources of the public policy needs to be analyzed and tackled. So our mandate as a government think tank, we have to examine the public policy operating in this country. That means we will be heavily engaged in the public policy research, looking to the public policies which are operating. It is quite huge for us to do everything. So what we are doing is the prioritizing, and then the approach we are doing is that we are requesting to the concerned ministries and the commission and the institution, government institution, by the Prime Minister office to send us their need. What is the real problem which they want to examine by us, and based on this priority we are operating, we are conducting the research with different institutions, collaborating with the university, etc. But the first and foremost is for us to look to the existing policies which has the larger effect on the society, prioritize them, and then start studying them. For example, what we are doing right now is in collaboration with the Election Commission of Nepal is that we are looking to the electoral system because it has a very direct relation with the stability and the democracy. The existing electoral system and the election practices are said to be not functioning properly and criticized from all the corners. That's why we have started engaging with the Election Commission, and we will conduct that study and suggest to the government and the Election Commission on the options, because our role is mainly the advisory role. We have not the executive function. We are not making the policy ourselves. What we are doing is supporting to the government, supporting to the agencies responsible for the policy implementation. So in that way, we identify the need for the policy research based on the need of the government ministries and department. We identify the need based on the public concern and interest. That is another source of our prioritization of the need. And third is also the contemporary crisis or contemporary issue emerging. For example, if there is a COVID coming, we are conducting the study and the impact of the COVID in collaboration with the Tribhuvan University. So in
Well,
that way,
Dr.
three sources.
Upreti, please feel free to continue with your initiatives that you are mentioning about dialogues on electoral system and all. But at this point of time, I would like to ask you your independent thoughts on the key challenges associated with public policy discussions. Could you categorically tell us the key challenges that Nepal's ongoing public policy discussions is faced with?
I have observed, I have documented, and we are studying 4 key challenges in the public policy debate, public policy dialogue. One is that there is a conceptual unclarity. Still, people feel that public policy dialogue is worthless in the policy process. So, until and unless we are able to develop that, to make that understandable, it is quite difficult. And the way you are helping us is precisely to develop the understanding, to make the public policy effective, efficient, and used for the people. There is always need for the policy debate and policy dialogue among the key stakeholders. So that is the key. There we need to do a lot of work. We means the state, the society needs to do a lot in that, developing the understanding about the need of the public policy. Second is also the culture. There is a lack of the culture of the public debate and discussion before bringing the public policy. For example, if some issues and concerns are under the discussion for the public policy making, they should be discussed thoroughly with the key stakeholders. So that culture is absent because often the bureaucratic knowledge is dominating the public policy making, and societal knowledge, the academic knowledge, intellectual knowledge, the global practices, we are not much looking on that, and that is the need of the day. So the developing culture, making public policy debate is the precondition of the public policy making, is essential, but that is lacking. The third is also there are lack of public policy debate forums. You see, there needs some sort of the mechanism and provision where the public are able to ventilate their concern, able to submit their issues and concern to the concerned authorities. So either the ministry who are often leading the policy making, or institution like the Policy Research Institute. These are the right institution to direct the policy message, and there this part is gradually developing but still not. So that is the third challenge. And the fourth challenge I realize is that because the common understanding among the political decision maker and the policy maker is that the bureaucratic knowledge is sufficient to develop the policy. That was quite common in the British era. That was quite common in the past. But now we are in the 21st century. The bureaucratic knowledge is quite important. That is essential, but that is not enough. We have to bring the fresh knowledge from the research. We have to bring the societal knowledge. Society and the concerned stakeholders has very pragmatic knowledge. That knowledge we have to incorporate. So based on these three knowledge, the scientific knowledge generating from the research, the societal knowledge developed based on the experience, learning and real life situation, and the bureaucratic knowledge built based on the bureaucratic administrative part needs to be combined to develop the policy. And then this type of the policy are more functional, more operational, and they give direct impact to the people. And these four challenges, the integrating the three type of the knowledge, bureaucratic, societal and scientific knowledge, developing the culture and practice, almost making the policy debate as the precondition for the policy making, developing understanding are quite essential, and we need to work on that.
Well, Dr. Upreti, could you now continue with the PRI's specific interventions in addressing these challenges in Nepal?
Thank you very much. That is quite important, and the mandate, very basic mandate of the PRI given by the government is mainly the policy research and generating evidence. That was one important part. And then researching on the existing policy, whether they are operating properly, whether they are facing difficulties, whether they need the change. That is one part, to examine, to research the existing policy. The second part of the research is to look for the elements of new policies, because, for example, if there is a COVID crisis is coming and we have to address these challenges, we need to look to the other different dimension which we are not accustomed with. So this type of the new area of the research. And third, it's a very important element given to us is the knowledge management. Now, under the knowledge management, we have a big task of facilitating the public policy debate and dialogue. We have created the public policy forum. Because of the COVID, we are not able to directly implement that until now. We have started with the online platform, but what we are going to do is that we will invite all the concerned stakeholder, whether they are the business person, private sector, whether they are the concerned citizen, whether they are the concerned group, advocacy group, activist group, whoever in the particular policy, and they will give their feedback, they will share their opinion, we will synthesize them, and then based on that we'll submit our issues to the concerned ministry and government. So in that way we can channel the public policy concerns to the government. So that is another part. And also there is collaboration we are making, because PRI is one small organization and it cannot and it should not do everything in itself. So what we are trying to do, we are collaborating with each and every concerned institution. That is the first condition. For example, now we are conducting the public perception on the functioning of the police and CDO in the district. That we are working with the Home Ministry. We have discussed that issue with the Home Ministry Secretary and the concerned officials. Based on that, we will be conducting the public perception studies on them. The other, as I shared with you, the Election Commission, because the electoral system is now questioned from everywhere.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Upreti. You highlighted on the key areas of your work with your mandates. Very fascinating activities you are trying to carry out. But I have a follow-up question. How are you complementing or collaborating with the National Planning Commission? Plus, you said that you are focused on knowledge management. Often there is criticism that the work or documentation or any exciting works of the institution like yours are not readily and easily available in the public domains. How are you planning to manage your documentations, knowledge to the public? Do you think that your work or your activities will be easily available to the public who want to access them very quickly?
Yes, it is. We will be open, or our research will be open. It will be available online. Every research we did, probably if there is very highly sensitive classified type of the work, it may not come to the public. But all other research we will be doing is available publicly. Public policy dialogue forum is a public forum open to everyone who has the concern issues. We have opened up and invited the open invitation to give any policy. If anyone wants to see, just they can approach to www.prinepal.org. There we have also invited the people to contribute to the policy making process. We have offered the roster. We will be regularly interacting with the media, so that there is a quite access to the information of PRI is quite access to everyone. It is a public. The other part you were linking was the National Planning Commission. We will not duplicate any activities done by any of the government and even by the private sector. So NPC and Policy Research Institute, we are trying to develop the memorandum of understanding where we will be supporting National Planning Commission in the research related to policy making. So the NPC has a very big, broad, different type of the mandate, and we have the different type of the mandate. So there will not be any overlapping. There will not be a competition. I am trying my best to consult with every organization before starting anything. So the related organization means there is no chances of overdoing. There is no chances of overlapping. We will be collaborating always, not only with the NPC, with any. We have also the collaboration, understanding, developing with the Nepal, NAST. We have also the collaboration understanding with the election commission and other department. What we are doing is that first and foremost condition is to critically look what is, and also with the private sector research institution, what we are trying to do in our strategy we have clearly outlined, and we are trying to do is to collect the research findings they have generated, and if they are very relevant to the public policies and the particular policy of the government, we will synthesize them and in the main issues and main points, and we will also pass that to the government. So in that way we will also utilize the research being done in the private sector.
Well, Dr. Upreti, you worked in different international projects related to peace and conflict, mainly on the studies and research. I'm seeking your independent thoughts. How are you planning to address the criticism that policies are often not implemented in line with the spirit of the constitution or the laws that you are referring to that recently, approached to the parliament or passed by? What are your key suggestions for effective implementation of any policies?
That concern is raised quite frequently. Even several times the parliamentarian, even the senior bureaucracy, political leaders, all are expressing the same in different language. So that is a national concern. That might be the reason that the government of Nepal created the Policy Research Institute. And what we will be trying to do, it is not possible for PRI to implement all them. It has to be with the concerned ministry. But if we set the appropriate procedure, it will definitely help. That appropriate procedure based on the experience of the other country where I have conducted research, more than 42 countries I have conducted the research, and several countries I observed. First and foremost condition is the engagement of the key stakeholder of that particular policy. For example, example, if we are bringing the elderly policy, the first and foremost is to consult the elderly people and get their feedback, get their suggestions, and build on that. The second part is that make policy as specific as possible. If it is kept vague, it will not work. Properly following the policy making cycle, identifying the need with the key stakeholders, then prioritizing the need with the key stakeholder, then assessing the institutional capability and the legal provisions are another keys, and then make the implementation follow up as a part of the policy itself. So we call it as a policy audit. Look regularly what is happening, why it is not happening, and then correct. So in that way, if we will properly follow the policy research cycle or the policy making cycle or the policy implementation cycle, there are these three important cycles, and at that time it is possible. The mismatch at present, one very clear mismatch at present we found is that there is no direct interrelationship while making the law and policy. The standard procedure or the standard practice is that first policy has to be defined, policy has to be made, and what sort of legal arrangement are needed to implement that policy, it has to develop on that basis. So law should be the key instrument to implement that policy. So often if there is no policy and law is made, then it will have the less effective, or it will have somehow the different track. The other part is the institutional arrangement, capacity, organization. What type of the organization is needed should be determined by the policy. So what type of the law and what type of the institutional arrangement needed must be always defined by the policy. If they are created ad hoc basis, then it will not work. Then it will not be effective. It may work, but it will not be effective. So that triangular part of the relationship between policy making, law making, and institutional development in creating the institution should be an integral part. And if there are existing institutions, but their capacity has to be utilized, then it has to be clearly spelled out in that policy. And then by the law, it has to be ensured that it will function. For example, once the new policy is developed, what I said, whether policy is implemented or not, there should be a legal provision to make sure that the policy is implemented. The policy auditing is the part of the process. And if there are any difficulties or hurdle to implement that policy, that has to be addressed by the law. So in that way, it is very interlinked. And in that aspect, we are still lacking. What we are trying to do is to make that understand, but it's quite difficult because we have the culture of developing policy based on some sort of idea generated in ministry, and there is lack of proper public consultation, open consultation, because we need to listen to the criticism. The constructive criticism is always good. If someone is really derogatory and the intention is not to improve the policy, at that time this type of the feedback may not be useful. But often the feedback comes from public based on their expectation, their need, and if we are able to discuss that, maybe all the expectation of the public is not possible to address, but if they are able to understand the limitation, and if their concerns wherever feasible is able to incorporate, at that time the possibility of implementation is high. So the general criticism what you raise is quite common, quite prevalent. The problem is also quite prevalent, and the way of addressing them is very clear. Only the commitment is needed from the public policy maker, minister and the secretaries and the other all concerned officials. What PRI can do on that, we can start the debate with that. And because of this COVID, it was becoming quite difficult for us. Otherwise, what we are planning to do is to sit with each ministry. We are planning to sit collectively by the Prime Minister office with the all secretaries and discuss that, and how we can enhance that, because the secretaries of the ministry are the key person to implement that, and therefore if we agreed collectively among the secretaries, among the ministries, it will be easy. But what I realize, it is not that fast, because uh, the culture has to be changed, the working culture, the procedure, many things which we are operating mainly based on our previous experience. Sometime we may need to change, and within my 6 months of experience, what I realized, there is a very strong resistance as well.
Well, thank you, Dr. Upreti. Thank you very much for sharing with us your great insights on public policy discussions in Nepal. Dear audience, time now to wrap up the show. Keep watching us. See you next week. Namaste.